I'm Richard Lewis, reporting for CadoRed.org, and I'm here with the man with the plan. It's James Too Good Harding. And I'm going to start off with just asking a very simple question, because you are Mr. DreamHack, I think, to a lot of people. What are you doing here, and how are you involved with Assembly?
Mr. DreamHack, okay, yeah. So I think some people might think I'm Mr. DreamHack in terms of because my face was out there at the very beginning, but I'm definitely really take no credit for what DreamHack, you know, how good they are and what they do. It was more, I'm quite good at being able to network people in the right place within esports, because I keep myself very much down to the community level and make sure I'm watching all the streams, the other members of the community watch, listen, look at the feedback. And when DreamHack were getting into streaming and big events, I had some opportunities prior to that to host some DreamHacks before with Joe Miller, as you probably know, and then basically they actually agreed with a lot of things I said in terms of, like, I think this guy would be good, you know, as an Apollo before he was famous. They took him on, you know, my word, and then I was like, when we did the first show, I was like, I would like DeMuslim and Apollo to spice things up. If I host it, I'd like the show to, you know, have like these small things in it. And basically DreamHack were, you know, they don't take everything I say, certainly, but they do listen. And so that's why I love working with them, and because they listen. So, you know, now, you know, In Control hosts, like, you know, recommended him there. And so I'm not, you know, I'm doing my own thing, but DreamHack are great. So definitely not Mr. DreamHack. DreamHack are more awesome than me, most likely. But yeah, with Asus ROG, now we got the gig here. I'm the guy that kind of put the vision together, and everyone else worked harder than I did, and I just sat there stroking a pathetic beard compared to you, going, who should be doing what? Who can we get? And we don't have the budgets of, you know, a DreamHack or an MLG. So we really took the philosophy from the Good Studio, which is primarily where me and Trance work, and he's done a lot of production here to try and make it as good as we can without going mental.
Well, I think it's been really well received. I've seen nothing but positive comments, and people have said that stream-wise they would like this to become the industry standard. That was one comment I did read on Reddit. You know a little bit about it, so are you amazed still that people can fuck up streams?
Yeah, absolutely. I am completely, you know, there are obviously things you can't control. Like, we knew here, you know, even with, you know, we did one rehearsal, and no one was basically here, but we did one rehearsal and then we went live, and, you know, stuff worked. But basically, we got Trance, right? Trance is our COO, CTO of, like, the Good Studio, and he worked for XSplit prior to joining my company, and we're outsourced to Twitch TV as the European branch. So he knows everything about streaming. So if you give Trance, like, you know, anything computer-wise, he'll be able to tell you how good your stream's going to be able to be. So our stream runs nicely, which is great, but the show here was what I had to design, and I had to kind of think how to make it enjoyable from a studio kind of feel, because you notice there's no big audience here, and so we had to do little things, and the little things were making sure we concentrate on the players, making sure we have interviews before the groups come up, which we've done, making sure that we have good player cameras, even though they're sat in group stages or desks. Normally you don't have player cameras there, but we MacGyvered something together. There's lots of tape around something, and, you know, we're able to move them, you know, between. So we've kind of just really had a very low production cost and tried to concentrate what's important. And I think the most important thing is telling the story of the players, giving it that kind of sports feel, because you'll notice me and Jeff are hosting at a desk, and the commentators literally just commentate. They don't have to fill time. And when it comes back to me and Jeff, we update people on groups, brackets, and then we also throw it to the floor for an interview. And Zoe, you know, I specifically told her to make sure, you know, don't go in too in depth with the interviews. It's more about, hey, you just won, you know, and this is next, and this is next. Because really in sports, you don't normally get more than 3 words out of a player. They don't tell you how they, you know, in a football, how they got past those 2 defenders, and then they were looking, and then they thought, oh, I'll do this, and scored the goal. It's more about the emotions, and we do have Semler as well, who can do longer interviews if needed. So TV style production, a little bit of sports in there, concentrate on the players and the story, and then that was my job in the vision, and everyone else in the team has done amazing. We have quite a small team here, so we're really happy with it.
I want to touch about StarCraft 2 and your involvement with it, because, I mean, look, we've talked quite candidly about a lot of things in the past, and for those who don't know, obviously me and James do go back a way. We were on the CGS together, you know, so, and one of the things...
I never tell people that.
I know, he's not his proudest moment, evidently.
We know each other from from, let's say, Multiplays Bar, because that's where the UK esports is kind of built from.
Like all the evil machinations are like planned there, like
Pound Fosters.
Yeah, like me, you, and Joe Miller.
Yeah,
who,
and it was,
that's kind of the old UK band. But anyway, before we digress, I want to ask you just about how people kind of. One of the things we don't like are people who profit shamelessly from esports. I think we've both made comments about that. And how do you kind of reconcile, like, because you're Mr. Quake in the same way that some people perceive you to be Mr. DreamHack, but you are quite versatile and you jump between games.
Versatile, Counter-Strike, Source.
Yeah, is that do we?
Not my phone, but
no, because that'd be incredible.
That would be professional.
For a phone to go off in the middle of an interview.
Production guy. Trance, I'm doing an interview. What do you want? I'm doing an interview. What do you want, Trance? Yeah, the match might be ending, and I should be back on stream. All right, thanks, boss. All right, see ya. Right, yeah. So my production team are good. They ring me when
I was going to say, very professional. But
wait, I can see the screen here.
Okay. So
okay, it's fine.
Right. So
StarCraft 2.
Yeah, StarCraft 2, and being versatile. How do you reconcile kind of comments that you've kind of made where you've talked about people who profit from esports and then you being everywhere and a jack of all trades?
Basically, all I'm saying is that esports isn't something that you can come in and cash out on now. It's something that needs a lot of people to take a lot of responsibility. You're in a higher position in terms of the industry to stay around and reinvest. If you want to keep and invest in a house because that's where you think the industry is going to go, then maybe you don't have as much belief as I do, where I will happily put out my own money from the studio into StarCraft 2, into Quake, into Bloodline Champions. Why am I doing that? I don't know, but yeah, Bloodline Champions, and the last game, Dota 2. So if we could, invest more into esports and could get more sponsors, we'd look into going into Street Fighter. We'd love to do that. We want to get into Counter-Strike Go, see how that goes, and even because Get Right is wants to come on and do content with us there. So it's more that I just look at where we are as an industry. Yes, we're big, and everyone knows we're big because we're getting big numbers, we're getting big media attention, but it's no time to cash in. So the ones in the top of the industry should really think about, okay, what can I do to keep this industry growing? Yeah. And having lots of money sat in a bank account doesn't necessarily keep the industry growing unless you're going to use it somehow. And it's just my philosophy is that I will literally spend everything I have back on esports. But the way I try and do it is I try and keep everything low cost with high reward. So I look at like someone's production and I go, this is massive, it must have cost a lot of money, but the viewing numbers and the attention could actually be gained by spending this much less, but of course not cutting on the people that actually work at the event, but more just, in all the flashy lights and all the style of it. And the game has now finished. I am totally going to run away. I'll leave you with that. 3-0.
How about this, right? We'll reconvene later when you can.
After this.
Okay.
Okay, don't film me running.
Yeah, we won't film you running. Right, we'll splice it together seamless.
All right,
go.